From the street, the house of the night looked just like any other, but only those who earned the trust of Gloria Leone, better known as La Turca, were allowed to participate. The business had to be kept low-key, even though at the time prostitution was legal in Mexico. Hi, I'm Bill Lemeron. We're here in beautiful San Miguel Allende to do a film about Casa de la Noche, a house of ill repute. It's an interesting story. It's one you're going to love.
San Miguel was in danger of becoming a ghost town at the beginning of the 20th century. When its old colonial structures were discovered, artists moved in and began art and cultural organizations such as the Instituto Allende. This attracted foreign art students, especially former U.S. soldiers studying on the GI Bill after the Second World War.
They say that art and prostitution are two of the world's oldest professions.
San Miguel back in the 60s had both a great art school and a great brothel.
An art school established itself here in San Miguel as a result of this man, Sterling Dickinson. It's called the Instituto Allende, and this is where we are right now. He saw a great value in bringing students and teachers together here at the Instituto. Students that were studying under the GI Bill and teachers who came from all parts of the world. I first visited San Miguel back in 1961 with 3 friends, and we all remember Casa de la Noche. We had an old 49 Chevy, and we wanted to get there fast, so we put an old mattress in the back seat because we were going to have 2 guys driving and 1 guy sleeping. And then we just rotate. The driver would go to sleep in the back seat, and the new guy would drive until he got tired.
We went nonstop from Milwaukee to Monterey.
Wow.
Nonstop, just to take a leak and fill up the car. To Monterey, and we got into Monterey and got a hotel to get take a shower and everything. And I remember I was wearing shorts, and men didn't wear shorts at that time. I got all the cat whistles and stuff going down the street in downtown Monterey. Yeah.
The brothel established itself here in San Miguel as a result of a woman known as Madame Turca. Madame Turca was a big, tough-looking woman who knew how to run a successful brothel. She was a great cook and a natural entertainer with impeccable manners. The house was always clean and the sheets were changed daily. Clients came from as far away as Mexico City, not only to enjoy the girls, but also the good food, drinks, and dancing. Every Tuesday, the girls had to go to the hospital to be tested for venereal diseases. Only the healthy ones were allowed to go to bed with clients. Those that contracted a disease could only dance with the clients.
That was a long time ago. Today, I'd like to share with you the remarkable story of the woman who transformed what was once a bordello back in the 60s into a charming bed and breakfast here in San Miguel. She is my friend and her name is Barbie Poole. She's done a fantastic job of restoring the property while still retaining its fascinating history.
Well, what happened for me with my Mexican experience is I came down and bought a reconstruction project, which was the old bordello. It was a long, skinny building with hardly any windows, not many rooms, and many renovation possibilities, which I enjoy doing. But just recently, I was fortunate to get the Madam's house, and that's what we are stepping into on this side of the place. I opened up the walls between the 2 houses, I think in 5 or 6 different locations. There had been evidence of one secret entry between the 2 houses in the past, but finally they're reunited.
For Gloria Reales, better known as Madame La Turca, running a house of pleasures wasn't just an occupation, it was in her blood. She was known for her fairness and generosity with the girls. The girls were allowed to keep 50% of the money they made, and they could have their own bank account. If one of them became pregnant, not only could she stay, but she could keep the baby too.
Well, when I first found what turned out to be Casa de la Noche, this room was all dark. There were no windows, no doors, no window here, just a little bit of ambient light that came in off the street through the panels on the top. You'd walk into this room and step down a couple of steps, and there was a red tile floor that went straight on down. This was not here. And you could roll an egg from one end to the other.
And we used to come in. You could come in like it was the only place you could go for like after midnight to have a drink or anything. So we didn't always come here for you know, but it was, and it was pleasant. There were never any fights. It was pleasant. It was a little, there were just tables, you know, like metal tables and chairs, and that was it. You know, the pisser was in the wall.
Yeah, up in the front.
Yeah.
All that was here when I first came here was just this door and the opening on the top. That was the full light. We added this window, and I've heard that in the past what this corner was a trough, and it was the guys weren't allowed into the girls' bathrooms, and so this is what they used. Some of my former guests have told me this is true, yes. So anyway, and then down below, well actually I hear from former clients that the girls' rooms did start just past that door. There was a whole series of them, and there's numbers that were still left here on the walls down below, which I believe were the numbers of the rooms. Those are where the numbers were in the past. I've now replaced those with placards with names of girls on them.
He said that before to come to San Miguel in Mexico City, era en la ciudad, ¿verdad? He was working as a security man. He was. He said many people think he was a boxer because his face, but he wasn't. But he said he used to work as a security guard, and when he came to San Miguel, La Turca offered him the job as a bartender and waitress, but he was the one who was keeping this place in order. He said also there were different categories of girls. There was not a regular rate. Some girls were more expensive and some girls were more cheap. At that time, he said it was between 100 and 150 pesos of that time. It was a lot of money. And sometimes they were charging even more, depending the client. Also, if they saw the client that it was a very rich man, they will ask more for them. Yeah.
We have heard stories about the names of the girls, that these names could be changed nightly or hourly. But this is our Chiquita room. Now I understand that this particular room was Yolanda's room, which is the special friend of the photographer here when he was here as a young man.
Yeah. He said the names they were using here, it was not the real names.
Oh.
These girls, they have their own name, but they have another name for work, the artistic name. For the people, because of the family and the friends outside, there was many people that they never knew what they were doing really. So it was important for their reputation. So they have a different name.
She's 70 years old. Okay, 70 years old. ¿Usted ha vivido aquí en San Miguel toda su vida?
Sí.
She lived here all her life. Okay, and como decía usted, limpiaba cuartos allí. She used to clean the rooms. She said one guy actually grabbed her butt and told her, I'll give you 30 pesos. So at the time, en 30 pesos era mucho en ese tiempo.
Era mucho.
30 pesos was a lot.
See, I remember.
Yeah, so she thought about it. She said, well, all week she wouldn't even earn 30 pesos.
Semana, 30.
¿Cuántos años tenía usted en esos tiempos?
Tenía, yo estaba joven.
¿Como cuántos años?
20.
She was 20 years old. 20 years old at the time, 25. So she said she had a nice shape y la proposicionó y pues usted vio la oportunidad. She said nobody would know, so she took advantage of the guy offering her 30 pesos, and which was more than she earned in the whole week.
Here we are, we're in the Besitos garden area, that's Little Kisses, and this is a complex that has 4 bedrooms and an art studio upstairs and a downstairs sala and kitchen that we allow any of our guests to use. And this is a kissing garden, and if we look right up here, you can see these two, look at these birdies up here. Can you see them?
I do, yeah.
I've never seen them doing that together. Pretty cool.
Maybe they got some information from the previous
I don't know, but they're enjoying the pleasures of the Besitos garden. This is the Paloma Loft Suite, and it's part of the Besitos garden. It's named after the the bird and insect theme we have in this area. And this is, these are paloma tiles, little doves. And it has a beautiful view of the gardens. Nice little kitchenette. That's a nice room. Here you'll see we keep the theme going of the doves, the two little kissing doves over the king-size bed.
She said at night ladies were dancing in the main entrance of the house, and the gentlemen were drinking and having even service of food, and that's in the rooms where the main job was happening. She was working during the day with her mother to clean here, to clean the rooms. The Madame Turca, she was living where we have located now the Madame Suite. She was living right there. She said that to her, the most interesting thing of Madame Turca, it was that she was changing very frequently her man. She liked to have a man next to her, but she was changing it many times. But there was a man, the man who lasts longer. The last man of her, his name is Pancho, and he lives right not far from here. She used to choose her man in town, even if they were poor, and she was dressing them, taking care of them, and then when she was tired, she just dropped it and chose another one.
This is the Besitos Garden Sala and kitchen, and we've had a lot of workshops use this space, as well as our guests who stay here. We had a wonderful cooking class in here, accommodates like 8 people, and of course we can pull down a screen from the back side of this overhang here, and photographers have used this room. Everything closes up tight and dark, and they can critique each other's work. This is one of my favorite rooms in the house. I always wanted to have a place where painters could come and do what San Miguel is so famous for, and that's enjoy art and make art. We created this room and put in this fireplace, but we took these stones, we found them behind the walls up in the sala of my portion of the house, and saved them and brought them down here to keep them there. This is called laja. It's a kind of stone that they have here in Mexico, but this laja is special and from not this region. So Madame Turca had brought this in especially for her enjoyment. It used to be the backdrop area of the bar in the front room.
Before guests were allowed to enter, they were first inspected through a little window to see if they were clients or men in uniform. When the original house closed, the business secretly continued in the house and restaurant next door.
He said that she never treat bad any one of the girls. She was very nice with them. Because of what was happening in the state about Las Poquianchis, what I told you already. The government started closing every place in the state. But the last one to be closed was this one. Finally, at the end of '61, they came and closed it because they discovered what was happening in the restaurant too. The restaurant was a hiding thing for the business. So the government closed it definitely and put Madame Gloria in jail. She was in jail around 15 days only because the money was not in her own account in the bank. So she has other people names helping her, like to wash the money. So they couldn't prove that she was becoming rich with this business. So they they released her.
After the laws in Mexico became stricter and organized prostitution was made illegal, the properties at Organos 19 and 17 were used for lighter entertainment by their owners. Continuing the festive tradition, Casa de la Noche is perfect for family reunions, romantic weddings, workshops, and all kinds of get-togethers. We love to throw a party.
One of my workers is a painter, a house painter, and he had been without work for quite a long time. He came to my door. He knew that I did art shows at the house, and he wanted to have me sell his art for him. And I saw this piece that he had brought and bought it right away and put it up myself. I love it. It's the Virgin of Guadalupe, and of course she is the patron of Mexico. And perfect because this is a house of women, and she is the special woman of Mexico.
Make your visit to this charming town memorable. San Miguel de Allende has been honored as the star of Mexican tourism by the prestigious Condé Nast Traveler. The New York-based magazine's 2012 Reader's Choice Awards named San Miguel as the #1 destination in Mexico. Stay at the historic Casa de la Noche, located in the heart of San Miguel. It's perfect for a long vacation or a weekend getaway. Relax in the historic atmosphere, enjoy the tasty cuisine. It's all waiting for you here in beautiful San Miguel. For reservations, check the website or call Casa de la Noche.